It won't go away. I've got that feeling rushing.
As you can tell from the title of the video, we've made a huge discovery that cars and trucks are making you sick and fat. And this information came to me out of thin air. Literally, I was recording a video inside my Ariel Atom, and a guy just pulled up to me. He didn't know me, and he started telling me the truth. And you just have to listen to this audio clip that I was able to record while he was talking. And even one of the things that I hate the most about newer cars is
have my glasses on, I had to get a better look. It's a lot like with religion, you know, a lot of hand-me-down shit that we just automatically go, okay, and plug in the numbers and go with it. The air-fuel ratio, it's their mantra. It's a lie. Air doesn't burn fuel, oxygen does. We're only allowing in about a third of the amount of oxygen we need to burn a given charge of fuel. And yeah, it does create vacuum. That's why we trigger before top dead center instead of after. But it also creates heat. Well, between the heat of compression and that little bit of combustion, we're making just enough heat to turn the rest of the gas that has nobody to dance with into something like steam. And that's what gently pushes your pistons. Remember, it's a steam engineer that designed these. And then we barf it out our tailpipe, we call it a fancy word, unburned hydrocarbons. Back in our day, well, back in my day, I'm probably a bit older here, you could tell what time it was by the smell on the road. Okay? Now, we have 3 times as many cars that get worse gas mileage than in the 80s. In the 80s, you could go to the dealership and get a car that got 70 miles to the gallon. It was the Chevy Geo Metro Turbo Sprint. Little 3-cylinder turbo are fucking great. And now we have 3 times as many cars that get worse gas mileage, but the air is sweet. Why? Because the catalytic converters are doing too good of a job. Gasoline is a long-chain hydrocarbon, C18H36O24. When you burn that, it makes several things. It makes CO, right?
Yeah.
CO2. It makes H2O. You see it dripping out of the tailpipe. There's also some numbers left over. C6H12O6 is ordinary table sugar. We turned our cars into giant cotton candy machines. Molecular cotton candy. The problem is, there's calories in, there's calories in. We are actually getting sick in traffic. But we're a bit short-sighted. And here's the final kick in the balls. The distillate of petroleum is petrol. Gasoline is the O where water from mining natural gas. No distillation. It's scrubbed right at the wellhead and shipped in pipes to big storage tanks. Yeah. Capitalism. Ain't it great? Gotta keep everybody stupid. Just get in line, buy your fucking cheeseburger, and go to hell. Well, listen, obviously I'm a little crazy, but I'd like you to did your own research.
I will.
If you want to talk about it, we run the beef jerky stand.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday only. We homeschool during the week. Right? I will always love to talk about cars, performance, or the nature of the love of the truth.
Now that you know the new truth, I was going to follow up with this gentleman at the beef jerky stand, but I just decided to bring in an expert. He's got a PhD in chemistry. This is Dr. Darnell Pendleton.
Piscataway.
Oh, Piscataway, I'm sorry. And he's going to break down some of the technical information, like the compounds that this gentleman quoted, the cotton candy or table sugar story. But before he does that, I asked Jason Fenske from Engineering Explained. I shared this audio clip with him to get his feedback, and this is what he told me. He said, "It's not often I'm left speechless, but that's the case with this groundbreaking information you've uncovered. You've discovered the ultimate truth." Now, is this the truth? Should I be worried about being fat?
Well, to quote another interesting scientist, the truth is still out there, I'd have to say. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Should you be worried about being fat?
Yes, yes, I'm
I want to
worried.
rephrase that.
I
Should the
spend
general public be worried that car exhaust is going to make them fat and want cheeseburgers? I think that was another part of this gentleman's theory.
yes, that's true. If we knew more, we wouldn't just be eating cheeseburgers.
I knew there was something about cheeseburgers.
Yes.
It's important to include that.
You got a lot of notes here, man.
Come on, man.
This is the one you want?
art. No, this was.
No, that's
this
the
was
other one.
This was the one for Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Check out his Instagram.
This is the official. You're gonna break down everything he said and kind of connect it to reality.
Well, I will try.
Oh, okay.
This being the internet and YouTube, I do feel some duty to debunk some of this, despite it being quite endearing in sort of a look around you type of way. If you haven't seen that series, I think this would be a good episode for it. Let's start at the top. Fuel for your car, gasoline. We know and love it. I don't think it's from natural gas wells. Last time I checked, we have things called gasoline refineries where they do in fact distill and refine your gasoline. Gasoline, by the way, is a liquid.
From here on, you don't have to say a word. So just let go and don't hold back.
It does not have the formula C18H38O24.
This is what he said, though.
Yeah, so you're looking more at things without all the oxygen. So just think of stuff with a lot of carbon and hydrogen in it, and you're pretty much good to go. There are other subtleties about how many carbons do you want. It's not 18, just, pro tip. So don't put that in your car, but go for that, 89, 87, 93, maybe if you have a performance car like you drive, your Honda Civic. So I know you put 93 in that, but you're good to go. Don't worry too much about all these extra oxygens because they're not in your gasoline. There are a few things with oxygens in your gasoline, fuel boosters and stuff like that, before someone comments that we missed that, but don't worry about that. We do burn our modern engines rich, right? This is kind of a discussion we've had, but it is not with 1/3 the oxygen needed. It's maybe a 14.1 to 1 ratio instead of a 14.7 to 1, or maybe 12.8 to 1, depending on the engine. It's not missing 2/3 of its oxygen. Something like steam, I guess he means a vapor. Yeah, sure, you're making vapors. You're doing an explosion in there, right? So we all know how an engine works. It's called combustion. That's, we're not gently boiling a liquid to expand your piston. You'd be waiting a long time to go from 0 to 60, right? Here's what's near and dear to me, catalytic converters. So I like working on stuff that involves catalysts. That's actually my background. And I like it when people on the street say, hey, you know what, that catalytic converter, it's just too good. I think that's a great compliment to the folks who developed catalytic converters, and I think they would disagree. We're always trying to make them better. But what catalytic converters do is they try to take unburned hydrocarbons that maybe didn't make it through your system completely burnt. They also try to take care of this guy. We all know you don't want a lot of carbon monoxide coming out of your tailpipe. And they add as much oxygen as necessary to fully combust them. And they have about 1/1,000,000th of a second or something like that to do it. And they have to work at 800 degrees as that exhaust gas is flowing out. So they are very good. They generally turn stuff into combustion products. So they make CO2. Not CO. They turn CO into CO2. The other thing they do is they take your NOx, your NOx, which causes smog and all this horrible stuff, and they rip it apart, turn it into nitrogen and oxygen. That's actually one of the reasons we have to run our engines a little bit rich for that to have optimal performance. It's not 1/3 the oxygen needed, but we do run them rich. The numbers left over, we don't really think of compounds as numbers usually, but what should be left over after your catalytic converter, especially if it's too good, is just going to be carbon dioxide, water, nitrogen, maybe some oxygen. Okay, that's ideally what you want coming out of there, and nothing's perfect, right? We live in the real world, not YouTube.
Yeah.
but you're not generating a lot of stuff left over, and you're certainly not going to come out with something like a sugar molecule. So again, remember, catalytic converters, 800 to 900 degrees, super high reactivity. You're not going to make sugar. That would burn up instantly. Sugar would burn up in your engine, even if you got it in, probably then gunk up the piston. But that's not coming out of here. So really, you don't need to worry about any of this stuff, as we say, maybe down the stream of the general plumbing of this diagram. But you're not getting sugar out of your tailpipe. Therefore, I don't think if your air does taste sweet, you might want to talk to your local air quality expert, but it's not from cars' tailpipes.
It's not cotton candy.
It's not cotton candy. This is not table sugar. This is glucose. If you're a diabetic, you know all about that molecule. But table sugar is sucrose, and it's a different formula. So you don't even have your cotton candy right here.
Well, here I thought I was going to die and I was getting fat from my car.
This is why people don't like scientists. You know, you can't have fun. You can't have nice things, right?
You can't have anything.
I would like a car that made cotton candy out of the tailpipe. You would just collect it and eat it. Don't share it with other people, right? That's yours.
Savage geese. What a waste of skin. Man, we gotta get rid of this guy. I'm gonna show you how, but first, let's tune this Subaru. I think 60 PSI should be good.
Yeah.
Let's go!
Well,
What
what
out
if
there.
you wanted to make your point by creating science to prove yourself right? Would this formula work for that?
So I actually did do some research. I tried to find a known compound that had this many oxygens for this formula. The best thing I could see was that if you take C18, H36, I believe the gentleman actually had H38, so we should correct that. Don't want to short shrift him on 2 hydrogens here. And I think O18, that is a real compound, but it's actually made up of 3 different compounds. It's 2 different sugars connected with water included. And that's not something that I would advise putting in your engine. Don't put sugar in your engine. Don't put water in your engine unless you really don't like your car.